evening, and welcome to the Harmony of Mind podcast. Now, I need to talk about Harmony of Mind podcast and Harmony of Minds. Harmony of Minds is a creative and mental health initiative that brings about mental health awareness through the creative arts, through drama, through poetry, through art, through design, through any way that you could think of. But again, Harmony of Mind is where we bring to you the stories of the creatives that are interested in bringing alive the stories of mental health awareness, mental health resilience. And we have come here today with an amazing creative. He is one of a kind. This is not what you hear about all the time. But I'm excited for you because I have been beaming and waiting to be having such a discussion and conversation with you. Welcome. Yes, Grandma. Please tell us about yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Katula Kranima. I am a comic book artist and a filmmaker, and a bunch of other things, but it gets really long, so I just try to cut it short by saying I'm a comic book artist and a filmmaker.
A comic designer?
Yeah, comic book artist, illustrator.
Comic book artist, illustrator, filmmaker, talent searcher. There is too much that I can say.
Yeah.
Mentor of children that love to do their talent. And I remember when I went to the Remina Rising Star Award, Kids Awards 2024, there was a lot of talent. The models, the ones that were crocheting.
There were actors, there were models, there were fashion designers that were children that had actually crocheted some of the outfits.
Yes.
There were fashion designers that had designed creative wares. Basically, I'm very, very drawn to potential, and when I see potential in a child, I want to do whatever I can to get it out. And if the conditions are right, if the child is disciplined, hardworking, self-driven, and their parents are supportive, I get a chance to do that, and it's like one of the most fulfilling things I've ever done in my life.
Wow.
And it really, really feels good to see somebody finally be seen for the light that they carry that had never before been anticipated. So, I feel honored and blessed to be able to do that. I believe every child has a star within them, and it's up to us and the people that are really, really, really purpose-driven and passionate about that to get that light out into the world so that it can do the good it can.
Wow. What drives this passion?
The passion, a lot of things actually. So in the beginning, I was only training to be a writer and a comic book artist. So it's after I did that I started to then get into education, and I went into education trying to sell the comic books I had created, and the way children interacted with them was very, very inspiring. Some of them started to draw the pictures that they saw, others started to tell me stories about their lives, and others would tell me that they are talented in other things, and I just felt there needed to be platforms that would allow this talent to come forth. And before I knew it, I found myself being one of the people to kind of create these platforms. I thought they already existed, but when I started to look for them, I couldn't find them. So I decided I could start with what we have as a company, and eventually it might grow into something. And over the years, we've discovered so many children with such amazing potential that have gone on to grow and become very well disciplined and multi-talented individuals. They make me proud every time I see them and talk to them. You've met some of them.
Yeah, we've met some of them, quite a number who are very talented. There was a poet, there was a photographer.
Yeah, the 12-year-old photographer.
Yes, the 12-year-old photographer. We've had one in the studio. Her name is Naluwondera Shatra.
Okay.
She was so phenomenal. I must say
I watched the thing.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I remember she was talking about her book.
Yeah, Soundless Mound.
Yes,
Yeah.
Soundless Mound. Did you like train her to say mound? Because for us we say mourn. So that she was just Soundless Mound. I was like, yes. So was it like a training or?
Yeah, I guess there is we have an editor in the company, so once the final script had been developed, she had a seminar with the editor Peter. You met
Okay.
Peter as well, like he's the current CEO of the company,
Yes.
and they went through some sort of rigorous exercise on how to do
How to
the
do the
whole,
poetry.
like how to do the whole thing, how to
Okay.
say it. She was very
Oh.
involved in the making of Soundless Mound more than she was in Night of Hearts. With Soundless
Okay.
Mound, she just wanted to be involved in every step. Soundless Mound wasn't even the title I thought the book was going to have.
Oh wow.
There was like 5 titles, and she thought about all of them, and she was like, I want Soundless Mound. And
Oh
so
wow.
we made that happen. Even the cover, she was like, I don't like this cover. Can you change it to this cover? So she was very involved in the,
It's interesting. It's interesting
Yeah.
that you gave her creative
Yeah,
independence
freedom.
for her to choose which design, which did she choose the color of the book?
And she chose like the type of communication she wanted on the
Okay,
cover.
wow.
And then I had to show her different samples of how I wanted to color the cover so she could pick.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. Oh wow. So when we are to talk about, comic books,
Yeah.
can you just tell us something, a little bit of the comic book industry? How is it faring? Like, are people receptive?
It's interesting. People don't understand comic books very well. Some of them, up to now, I'm still meeting people that are just understanding what a comic book is for the very
Yes,
first time.
yes.
But once they understand what it is and how it can be used as a tool to tell stories that have long been forgotten, as a tool to tell stories that are maybe too expensive to tell through film,
Yes.
they suddenly understand the power that they can have and the power that they have in terms of communicating to a
Yes.
younger population, especially in a country that is ridden with a low reading culture.
Yeah. Oh, wow. When you talk about a low reading culture, now that even social media has come into play,
Yeah.
I think other countries that are already reading cultures are seeing how they are struggling
Yeah.
with reading. Now, how about Uganda?
How about
We're just
Uganda?
we're just going and
Uganda is really far behind because I've been to
Yes.
Kenya, and Kenya is like miles ahead of us in this
Yeah.
faith.
in the comic book industry,
And not just
or
in the
in the
comic book
reading
industry, just the
culture.
reading and the writing culture. So,
Oh wow.
yeah.
So you say that you studied industrial art
Yeah,
and
I
design in
did
school.
industrial art design
Wow.
my career.
So beginning when you're doing when you were saying, okay, I'm applying for this course, were you envisioning comic books? What were you seeing before, and what led to the change, to the
The
transformation?
transformation. So funny thing, I didn't even think I was going to do comic books
Interesting.
when I entered secondary school. I was doing art because it was easy. It was the easiest way to get like a 60.
Yeah.
So I was like, a
No
60 is good
reading.
enough to pass, no reading, whatnot.
Yes.
So in like Form 5, that's when I'm introduced to like Japanese comic books, and I start to read them online, and then I start to fall in love with them. And that's when I start to make up my mind, no matter what, I'm going to do industrial art, and I'm going to specialize in
Comic
books. I'm going to learn illustration, but I'm going to specialize in making comic books and telling heartfelt stories that mean something to people, that inspire people the way I was inspired by the stories that I read.
Oh wow. What is the future that you see in the comic book industry in Uganda, with looking at the factors that are non-good readers?
Yeah.
What's the future? What future are you seeing?
The future is it's optimistic. That's the best way I can say it. It just needs a few things to happen, and then I think it will take off very, very quickly once the few things that I'm talking about happen, like maybe some few changes in policy and whatnot. it's just there's so many comic book artists out there. It's just you rarely hear their names. It's because there's no incentives that allow them to come and be on the surface or to even continue creating the stories that they had wanted to create because, well, they're not going to be able to earn a living doing that
Yes.
without a receptive audience or without even a receptive government. So,
True,
yeah,
true,
so
true.
majority of the ones that actually it's too few that are doing that right now, but the ones that do usually are choosing to do it out of passion and they don't really
Not looking at
they're
money.
not really looking at money. Yeah, but
So,
it's bright because I've gotten to work with organizations that are
wow.
very big organizations. So when I look at that, I just know it's eventually it's going to
To pick up.
to pick up.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. You've talked over, having that hope, and some people, some at some point they're like, this does not pay the bills. Let me probably do something else.
Yeah.
Have you gotten that pressure to fit in? To say, let me do maybe the conventional way of doing art. Since I studied this, do you feel? Have you ever gotten that pressure?
Yeah,
And
all
if,
the time.
how have you dealt with it?
All the time. I'm always faced with that. I'm always grappling with that all the time. And the thing that always gets me back is the why and the reason
Wow.
why I started what I do. They say if your why is strong enough, you will never
Yes.
give up on anything. So I always go back to why I started this in the first
Why?
place. And the reason that was, it was to tell heartfelt stories that mean something to people. And I've been able to tell these stories and I've seen how they have impacted the lives of children. I've seen that transformative energy that they contain. So in the darkest of times, those few small glimmers of light that I've experienced with my own eyes, like they keep me going. And
Wow.
the children, we have an initiative called the Remain Up National Writing Competition, and the winners every year we have their stories turned into comic books. And the stories we've gotten to receive that have been able to turn into comic books, some of them are so breathtaking and so inspiring that I just know it in my heart that it's only a
Yes.
matter of time before this becomes something greater that can not only bless us as a company, but also bless
The
the child that
children.
actually wrote the book and continue to inspire many children out there to focus on building their imagination and their creativity and eventually be part of creating something that is larger than themselves and
Wow.
larger than life. So yeah,
Wow.
when I
Wow.
look at those the achievements we've had, they keep me going in the darkest of times where I'm like confronted with a lot of
Yes.
self-doubt, where I'm not making enough to get by, where I'm discouraged by family to try to do other things with my life and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I know sometimes actually we can just drive right into that now that it has been hinted on. How is okay, you've already said that sometimes you're discouraged by family, but how is it going? With because most creatives, one of the biggest hurdles they have to really penetrate is the significant people that are around, the people that
yeah.
they look up to. So how are you working through it? You talk to an artist out there that feels like, that they're trying to battle between what their parents want them to do
Yeah.
and what they want to do.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was doing a workshop at Makerere University like the other week, and the child asked me the same question. How most parents do not feel like art is a good option for their child to take.
Yes.
Have you faced any discouragement from your family, and how have you dealt with that? And I, I told them that when you do decide to do something with all of your heart, eventually even when they start off unsupportive, eventually they're going to be moved by the passion you're putting into this and start to think, hey, maybe there is something there that we are missing, that we're not seeing. And eventually they'll come around. At least that's
Yes.
what happened in my case. In the beginning, my father especially wasn't very supportive of what I was doing. He was like, "You're doing cartoons? Why are you wasting your time doing cartoons?" Like,
Yes.
and every time he would find me drawing cartoons, he would literally get pissed at me, and it's like you have no words to say to me, like literally.
Yes.
So, but I kept doing that so many times, and when he started to see me get money from it, he started to think, oh, maybe there is something there. When he started to see me do exhibitions and people coming around and interacting with what I had made and walking out with such like high opinions, he started to understand it a little bit, and so. From that moment, not only him, but people in the family, he started to come around and be supportive. So when I'm going through periods where there is no money or where I'm having difficulty sustaining myself, they don't discourage me. They just tell me to hang in there, and whatever they say doesn't come from a bad place anymore. Like before, it just comes from a
their
place.
own doubt and fear.
It's just they're just looking out for the best for you. So like, maybe you should take a break and do something else in the meantime while it picks up, or but don't give it up. Don't give up on it. Just maybe it's not the right time. Maybe you should do something, but they're no longer like against it like they were in the beginning, and that's because I persevered and like did something to win them over. I believe whatever you're doing, even if it's not art related, if you show so much passion for it and put in so much effort in it, the world around you will like change to accommodate what it is you're trying to achieve. Yeah.
Oh wow, there you have it, guys. So Remina Katula has told us that we need to keep on being consistent, keep on doing what you love, show the people that are sort of like doubting, not in a bad way. Sometimes doubt is they are fearing for you, they are anxious for you, the doubt is inward, but then somehow they portray it on you. But then keep moving, keep looking for opportunities, keep searching for the reason as to why you're beginning this. And I think it's amazing advice that you're giving if there's someone who's listening out there.
I've stolen it from a book called The Alchemist.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you've read it. It's a very good book. I recommend it for everybody. In fact, I give it out to my kids a lot.
To read.
Yeah, I have kids that are in secondary school that I'm nurturing, and there's kids that are still young. But I always give them the book because it talks about the power of self and how when you decide to do something, all of the universe conspires to help you make that become a reality. And so that's why I said when you show so much passion for something, the world around you changes to accommodate what it is you're trying to do.
Wow. So coming back to still comics, what is the inspiration? I know you read the book, a Japanese, comic book. But do you get inspiration from yoga? You still read them?
Yeah, every week I have to read.
Do you have like a subscription?
Yeah, I have to read them.
Wow.
The very advanced, not just in their artwork, but also in storytelling, how they tell stories. So it's always very, very entertaining and at the same time educational. So yeah.
Wow. Do you have like any inspiration from an African illustrator or Ugandan?
Yeah.
You're not even talking about comics, you're talking about illustration. Yes.
Yeah, I do. When I went to university, I was doing industrial arts. There's a friend of mine called Cosmos. He was already working in publishing companies. If you've heard of Fountain Publishers, MK Publishers, all of those things, the illustrations in those books, I bet the vast majority are his. So yeah, he was someone I looked up to because we were in the same year and he was already that advanced. So just seeing him make money gave me hope for that, and so I started to work that twice as hard.
Oh wow. Yeah. Oh, when you I remember because MK books in our time, I don't know what nowadays children are subscribed to.
Yeah.
But first used to read MK, English MK book,
Yeah,
MK.
yeah.
Wow. Nowadays I don't know which books that they really use. But
yeah, me too. I last worked there a long time ago.
Yeah, because it's so amazing. Like that's illustration actually.
So yeah, that's illustration.
The pictures, Manyala window, and that's something. All those beautiful stories.
All of those beautiful stories.
Oh wow, interesting. You've brought me back. You've just taken me back to my primary school.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about children, what is the passion? Why is the passion? Why not adults? Why not,
Yeah,
teenagers? Because they're really, I think the biggest you could be having, I saw like 15 or something.
yeah, I think it was 16. The boy who
16.
emceed last the other awards, I think he's 16 now. He's a form for candidate.
Yes. So why is it the young ones?
The young ones, I find the young ones very teachable more than the old ones. The old ones are kind of set in their ways already.
Yeah.
When you read about child developmental psychology, it shows that a child, by age 6, the child has already gotten almost all of the characters that are going to define the rest of his life. So you have very little time before their brain is fully complete. And for adults, whenever you interact with them, I do volunteer work. I volunteered in certain organizations to teach children creative writing, to teach children how to draw. And whenever I tried to teach drawing or creative writing, especially drawing, it felt like something that they could not learn. The way they would react were like, "Oh, how are you doing that? Oh, will I ever learn this?" Oh, there's a lot of self-doubt, and that doesn't exist in kids. There is no ego. There is always confidence that I can do this already. And
Yes.
even when they uh, can't yet, their willingness to try is always there. So the reason I started to focus on children is because they're going to be the future of our nation, first of all, and they are also very, very teachable once they express interest in what it is you're trying to teach them. They're very, very teachable, and they learn very fast, much faster than kids that are older, because kids that are older already have life to deal with, and they already have
Yes.
a lot of issues going on. And so their minds are super occupied, their brains are fully developed, and they don't really have as much
That
free
much
time to focus,
concentration,
and
yes.
yeah, stuff like that. So yeah, I always never succeeded the way I wanted to with,
Yes.
yeah, but I first began teaching kids that were older, kids that from like street connected environments, or families at risk and whatnot. And if I had a class of 20, by the end of my period of, like, let's say 3 months, that class of 20 would be a class of 4. And the class of 4, it would be like 2 that are like trying and making any progress, but they're also showing you they're not taking this any further.
Seriously.
Yeah, after you leave, it's
So that it
yeah,
stays there.
but except for a few exceptions, but that's how it has always been. But with kids, up to now, they're still the ones I started training back when I first began to dive into working with children. I think that was 2018. Those kids up to now are still training
They're
to
still
become
pushing, yeah.
better and better and better. So
wow.
yeah, so yeah, to make the answer short, children are the future. So my teammates and I believe that we are
Yes.
living in a very competitive period in
Yes,
time,
true.
and we need to equip
Prepare,
children with
yeah.
as many talents as possible,
yeah.
to give them enough chance to find lucrative opportunities where they can make money, or even create ideas, bring into the world ideas that can allow them to create money, so that they do not have to suffer the same fate most
Yes,
graduates suffer
of
when they
us,
get out
yeah,
there and they find
yes.
there is no jobs. So we try to teach them as many life skills and as many money-making skills as possible. That's why when you attended the awards, you saw so many of them talented in so many different
Yes, different
things.
yes.
The idea is that they are the future, and since they are young, they have the ability to learn so many things as long as they show interest. And a child that is willing to learn is very easy to teach. Yeah.
Wow. What are one of those toughest challenges that you faced, working with these children?
With children,
You have to think on that one.
yeah, I have to think, because most of the time it's not it's not difficult. It's not difficult as long as you know how to handle children. Yeah, it's usually those moments have come from the parents themselves. Some parents are not really supportive of their child, so you discover like child, and the child has potential to be something, you create an environment that allows the child to thrive. Because usually when we are training children, the first thing we do is raise their confidence and their ability to speak. And once that is raised, then we see how we can use that to feed into something much bigger and much larger. So eventually they start to get to a certain level, and then you meet the parents, and the parents are not on board with that. They just don't like the child doing
Being
that.
assertive.
Or if the child gets an opportunity to go somewhere, and you take the child somewhere with permission, of course, and then you come back a little bit late, and just not understanding about many things that can go wrong in any given activity that you're going to do outside of their own jurisdiction, outside of their own comfort. So yeah, it's the parents. Some parents they really because of them we've lost certain. We have had to give up on children that would have been super amazing. Yeah.
Actually, you've talked about parents sometimes looking into all of these other things. I remember this morning when I was taking my kids to school, one of them asked me, "But mommy, I see in the movies that those Americans, they work like newspapers, doing simanya, what's that, lemonade?"
Yeah, lemonade stands.
Lemonade stands, selling cookies. Like, we need to work also. We so that we can soften the burden.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I thought about it for some time.
That
I'm
is
like,
very humbling.
wow, why isn't that a normal thing in Uganda? You know, what do you think? Why do you think that's happening, in your own opinion?
In my own opinion,
yes.
I just feel like the parents are trying to raise their children the same way their parents raised them. They're not taking into account that the times are changing. The job market is changing.
True.
And that they also need to adjust accordingly, not just in how they find basic needs for their children, but also how to raise their children to be very well prepared for this world. So I feel like the way they were raised is really the biggest hindrance, and the way the culture plays a huge factor into this. So most of them were raised to go study, go to school, get a job, get married. Study, go to school, get a job, get married, and they're trying to have that with their children. So there's very little tolerance for children's special skills. Like if a child is very entrepreneurial, there's zero tolerance for that.
They
because
chase you from school if you're selling, candies.
If you come up with an idea that even if it's it's passed through the right routes, they still try to discourage that. If you are very talented at dancing, and there is people that are talking to the school, wanting to take you to the next level, the parents see that as a waste of time. If you're very talented at anything, even if it's soccer, they're like, concentrate on books, give up on soccer. That's not going to be able to put food on the table. But they forget the job market has become so competitive that getting a degree, even a master's and a PhD, does not guarantee that a child is going to find a job that is good enough to support him or her, plus the family that they will get.
One thing also maybe that I could add on to parenting is that in the time that our parents were raised, it was about fear. There was war and all of these other things. And so their parents were trying to safeguard them. And I believe us in our generation, we are trying to raise, and that's how they raise us. They raised us in keep you safe, keep you safe. And for us in our generation, we are trying to raise children to disaster preparedness. How can you be prepared for disaster as opposed to run away from the disaster? And I am seeing it in so many parents in my time, the millennial parents.
The millennial parents. They're totally a different type of parents compared to the boomers.
You can talk about it.
The parents that we have that are so supportive of the work that their children are doing, that's so invested. They come out to see the child do what they doing, even when the child doesn't yet reach that level of mastery, they just like know that if my child is gifted at something, I have to do whatever it takes to make sure they get the best support possible so that they can get from this skill as much as they can. And they are open, they're very open-minded. They
Yes.
know that these skills are not just for fun.
Yes.
That a child can actually make a lot of money from their natural born skill or talent, and also the skill that they develop over time. And so they really invest. So we have parents that are really, really supportive, and they really they kind of like inspire us to also keep pushing and keep pushing
Wow.
and raise as many talented children as possible.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, and we've had examples where children have made like an insane amount of money. So that also inspires
Some parents.
to actually also try to pay attention to the skills their children are trying to learn and develop, in hopes that they could also maybe make as much money as possible. But I like that
it's
many parents are
surprising
open-minded.
that what you're doing in some countries, in the developed countries, they pay for it. And in Uganda, we're literally begging, like parents, please, you know, come on board. Let's train. We can do this. You know, just maybe bring transport. That's okay. But then I remember seeing, I was following a TikTok. I think it was a reel whereby this Nigerian teacher. She came from Nigeria, and then she was just teaching children. Parents were paying for their children to learn Afrobeat dances, and then she was like, "Should they class 2020?" I was like, Uganda, we should reach here. When are we reaching here? But you see, another thing, we are selling our culture to these people, and again, we are not embracing it.
Yeah.
Do you think that there is a future in the Ugandan cultural space? Yes.
I believe it's there. I believe as long as there's people like you talk about it openly, and as long as there is children that are also proud of their culture and where they come from, if something can be created, something can always be created, whether it's a story, whether it's a talk show, TV show, movie. I believe it's something that can be revived. Hope is not dead. Hope is alive. Yeah.
Wow.
And in the space that I'm in, I've been able to see things that I thought were impossible before. Like, for instance, I had an epiphany about mental health back when I was when I just finished campus. I was like, because I had my own mental health struggles, and when I went through the situation where I had to go through, and it was a miracle how I survived that. I started to think this might be something that might occur to many young people. And then when COVID hit, I just knew immediately, because so many kids were on their phones and all of that stuff. I just knew immediately we're going to face a mental health crisis. So with the resources I had, I think one of my very first short films was based on trying to raise awareness on mental health. But because I remained in the space, then came Shatra, who was very passionate about that. So I just believe by just holding up, if you hold space and hold hope, there's going to be people that are like very, very like self-driven, and they're just like, they have this determination about them that can inspire people around them to pay attention and to recognize the value in things that would have otherwise not been seen at all.
Wow. Have you come with any material for us to see? Some comic?
Definitely.
Oh, wow.
I've come with a bunch.
Yes.
So I think this is the one now.
So this is the latest.
So it's not the latest. It's actually, we did that a long time ago, I think.
A long time ago?
We did that in 2018, and we did it in partnership with Streetlights Uganda. We were just trying to raise awareness of the plight of street children and the conditions that they live in, and the things they are forced to do, and how to just educate
Bring
educate the public on how to kind of treat them better and how to hold empathy in their hearts when they're dealing with them, and also inspire people that are doing any work related to that to maybe try different approaches that can allow them to share their own stories of
Yes.
what led them to the streets, and also have their own mental health catered for. And so, because
Wow.
a lot of them are traumatized.
True, true.
A lot of
I remember
traumatized,
I
despite the
remember
things
someone
that they
reading
see and
about
do.
this,
Yeah.
the street monster, of how someone came from a truck or something, they had
Yeah.
chased them. Is it that story?
It's a story.
Yeah, so they had chased this child and then they went on the truck, and before they know it, they're in the city.
Yeah. Your daughter read the entire book
Eh,
that day.
yeah, she's a reader. My actually we have. I may even get one. I may get one of these. But wow, this is Street Monster, an amazing story. It was written by 12-year-old by then.
Nana, that's
Oh, this
the
is the
main
story.
the name of the
Oh
main
wow,
character is 12-year-old.
wow.
Yeah, Street
Wow.
Lights done a lot of research on how
Okay.
children come on the streets, and me being a writer, I
Okay.
used that research to kind of
Wow.
create a story
Oh,
that best explains the
oh my
most common
goodness.
ways children end up on the streets, and the things they are forced to do in order to survive. And
Yeah.
it was meant to be a continuous series
Wow.
to dive deeper into their world and how it's different from the world of other children, but we didn't get the funding to
To
continue
move
the
on.
project.
Oh my goodness, just look at such stories, such amazing, beautiful stories. Look at this art. Look at the falling. This was eye-catching for me.
Oh,
The way the falling, the
that hit.
hand, the leg hitting the face, and
Yeah.
this is so amazing. This is why I love art, because it puts to form what people are going through, some of the things that we are not aware about. This is what art does. Creativity makes us aware. I got to know more about the street kids challenges just by knowing more about this particular story and this particular comic book. Guys, if you're there out there and you're a reader, there is Remina Comics here. Please, Street Monster.
Yeah.
Yes, please. Can we just see
That
one?
is Street Monster is only like 20,000 shillings.
20,000. This is 20. Actually, I'm going to do a reel, working on all of them. Yeah, so,
I wish
but
I
anyway,
brought more.
I know. So, but we are running out of time. Time is always an enemy.
Yeah.
And I just want to thank someone out there that is watching and that is listening, and you're always on, and you always want to know what's happening with Harmony of Mind podcast, the next episode. Yes, we are here talking about something that is so relevant in our society today. Please share this link, share this YouTube video with on Living Arts YouTube channel. We are going to be posting it on Harmony of Mind's podcast channel. And please, we need to know. The world needs to know about such stories, Street Monster. So we are going on our last segment.
Yeah. Also, let's talk about school days a little bit.
Yes,
This is actually the story that got me into. It's the story that I credit for everything that Reminak has done.
Yes.
Before I wrote this story,
Yes.
Reminak wasn't doing anything to do with children, to do with discovering talent and nurturing talent to the best of our abilities.
Yes.
It was when we wrote this story, School Days. It's a continuous series.
Yes.
It has issue 2, issue 3, issue 1. This is issue 1.
Wow.
And then this is issue 2.
Yes.
And this is issue 3. Each issue talks about a major aspect of like school life and how parents, the techniques that they use to discipline their children, plus the teachers, the techniques they use to discipline their children, ultimately affect
their mental health.
affect the growth of the children into they definitely affect the growth of the children.
Yes.
And because of these techniques, some children may not get to live their best lives or even see their full potential come to fruition.
Yes.
And the inspiration behind this was a lot of my friends, when we were growing up, we made a lot of mistakes that we got away with. And so we figured that if we wrote if we managed to create a story where we talk about all of these issues and the mistakes that we made while in school, we might inspire the current generation that reads these books to kind of stop making the mistakes that we made and live much more fulfilling lives.
Oh, wow.
So it was a book that allowed us to go into primary schools where we discovered that children are more talented than we ever thought them to be, and more passionate to learn than we ever thought them to be. And then we started to create platforms that tap into their potential, and that led to the birth of the Reminac National Writing Competition, the birth of Reminac TV, and all the TV shows that are on Reminac TV right now, and also the Reminac National awards and stuff like
Yes.
basically a lot of platforms.
Wow.
Result of that
of
one
this.
book.
Wow. So all these are 20,000?
That school days are 10,000. We're trying to
10,000.
have them as cheap as possible, so that we encourage people to buy them and children to buy them, because the stories they are meant for children and they're meant to inspire them to be the best versions of themselves that they can be. And they're a good read for not only children but also adults. You see basically your childhood self in there when you.
This takes you back.
Yeah, it takes you back, definitely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there is characters that represent the most common personalities you find in every school system. And so the interactions they have as children and the way parents intervene and the way teachers intervene, it all points to something that allows a teacher who's reading that to maybe think twice about something. Maybe this is not the best approach of talking to a child that is like this. And to the parent, it's the same thing. The way that parent disciplines her child, maybe another parent can see that and say, maybe this is not the best way to discipline my child. Maybe there is better ways to discipline my child and make sure that he lives up to his full potential.
His full potential.
Like that. So,
because we are in a time whereby it's only confident children that can survive and thrive in this world today. Those that are timid. So therefore, parents, we need to raise our children to be confident, and we need school days.
And they can become confident.
Yes.
It's something that they can acquire.
Yes. Thank you so much for this. We are going to do something about that. But we are coming to the end of our show today. And we usually do something fun because our conversations are heavy and sometimes people talk about really heavy stuff. And so I want to close this up with something that is fun. So we have a segment called Fun and Fiery.
Yeah.
It is just something that is so lively and things of that kind.
I've seen it before.
Yeah. If you could bring one of your characters to life for a day, who would it be?
You mean the characters I've created?
Yeah, the characters that you have created in your comics.
There is a comic book I'm working on. It's called Black Hood. If I was to bring one of my characters to life, it would be Aiden, the main character in Black Hood. Yeah.
Why?
He's very empathetic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I feel like the world needs a lot of empathy.
Now.
He's gone through a lot, but instead of projecting the same pain he's gone through, he kind of chooses to go a different direction. So he's very empathetic. He doesn't judge. I feel like he's a good friend to anybody. Like when you're going through the darkest of times, that's the kind of friend you need. A friend who will not judge, a friend who will listen, and be empathetic no matter what. Yeah.
Wow. Another one is what's one funny or awkward moment you've experienced as a creative?
So when we started Reminac and we started to do everything that Reminac does, I got thrown into the production end of things. So that meant people would see less and less of my face, except when it came to like the events where then I would come out. So I was thrown in production where I would be drawing or I would be teaching children to develop their skills and all of that. So at events, I would always be mistook for maybe the DJ or maybe the photographer
Yes.
or maybe
Because you're
anything
doing,
but
yes.
what I am. Yeah, so yeah, and another thing is people are assuming because Remina kind of the social media pages are usually very active. People are assuming that I'm living this very grand life when in fact it's not true, and they don't believe me.
You're
So
so
when I tell them
pushing,
that,
yes.
so
You're
yeah,
struggling here
it's
and
awkward
there.
and funny at the same time. So
Okay. If your life was a comic book, what title would it be?
it would be Blackwood.
Blackwood still. So is Blackwood inspired by your story, your life
Not
story?
necessarily.
Yes.
Inspired by. I'm a reader. I'm an avid reader. I read a lot of philosophy. I read a lot of.
Yes.
I read a lot of fiction as well, science fiction and whatnot. But it's like Blackwood is the amalgamation of all my collective knowledge from all the philosophy books I've read. So
Wow.
yeah, I
Wow.
feel.
Interesting. That's really interesting. Coffee, tea, or juice?
Um, Energy drinks, but they were my thing. But my family staged an intervention, so
Yes.
they had
You're
to stop me
like
from taking energy drinks. Now I take soda. None of the above. Soda.
you're not a coffee person, not a juice person, not tea, just
All of those take time to make. I feel like the 5 minutes they take to make, it's too much
you
time.
just open a bottle and then
Yeah,
you're done.
yeah.
Wow. So what soundtrack gets in your which soundtrack do you use while you're creating your art?
It's a good one because I'm into rock and I'm into rock music.
Oh.
But 21 Pilots. Do you know 21 Pilots? It's a rock
Oh, is
band.
that a band?
Yeah, it's a band. They're huge advocates
Okay.
for mental health too.
Oh, I should
use
check them
they use
out.
their music to do that. So they have this song that I love so much. It's called Hometown. Yeah, it's usually the song I
vibe,
usually
the
like.
story.
Yeah, I listen
Okay.
to when I'm trying to create and just I want to be like focused and stay in the world that I'm creating and be trapped in there until I'm done.
Wow, be trapped in there.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like something that is interesting about creativity is that you have to be trapped somewhere.
Yeah, you
For
have
you
to believe
the
in the
moment
world
you
you're
leave,
creating. Yeah.
it's hard for you to
Yeah.
create anything.
Most people don't understand that. I try to
Yeah.
explain it sometimes to my friends that I
Yes.
actually need to be like this so that I
Yeah.
can do this and finish this.
I think this
They
is
don't understand.
this is bringing me closure to, because I've been having a dry spell of not doing music and writing, and I was like, "Oh, I need to finish this album. It shouldn't
Yeah.
be in studio for so long." But I think because I tapped out of
Yeah.
the reason, that's why I started the album. So like like you're doing your healing journey, and so you've progressed from
Yeah.
that version.
Yeah,
Now
it's
you're
like
like,
you've
how
evolved
can
a
I?
little bit, so it
Yes.
feels like you're doing it. You have to do it from the start
Yes.
because it doesn't feel like
You have to go in
like as
there,
alive
feel.
as it felt before. Yeah.
Wow. It's funny. If you could collaborate with any comic book legend or filmmaker alive or dead, who would that be?
It would be Stanley. He's
Stan.
dead though. He's responsible for Spider-Man or the Avengers movie, Iron Man, and but not he's the original creator of all of that.
Of the
X-Men,
Mavic something.
basically the Marvel universe. Yeah, I would love to
wow.
collaborate with a person
Why?
like
Like
that.
his world was unique. So
Yeah, it's influencing the culture that we're living.
Yes,
It's like
yes,
he's
true.
living example that comic books they have a lot
Yes,
of
they have power.
potential because right now the world's highest grossing movie is a fictional movie based
Wow.
off the work he created.
Talking about him and how nowadays we see Spider-Man, because I remember it used to be like, I think, in newspapers, like
Yeah,
with
it
two
used to be
things,
like
three,
three
and now
panels
there are
in the
movies and
newspapers,
movies and
there's
movies and
movies
they
and
call them
movies.
franchises or something.
Yeah.
With just Spider-Man,
Yeah.
and I'm like, wow.
To have a conversation with, even if it's for like I think 30 minutes, I think it will like
Yes.
change my whole perspective on life.
Wow. That's so beautiful. Let's close this show today. Just tell an artist out there, tell a filmmaker out there, give them your inspirational message.
My inspirational message. uh, I'm going to steal this from The Alchemist again.
Okay. All right.
By the way, if you're watching, from after here, I just defined a book called The Alchemist. Um, I feel like it was written for creatives and for people that have dreams that they feel are too out there and too impossible to reach. When you read The Alchemist, it will give you the confidence to fight for that dream, no matter how out there or how impossible it seems. So, in whatever you're trying to do, there is invisible forces that are fighting so hard to make sure that it comes to life.
Oh,
And
wow.
if you just keep still and stay humbled and stay grounded, those forces will make sure that whatever it is that you're trying to create comes to life and changes the world in ways you could never imagine. And whatever you choose to do, whatever you choose to do with life, if you focus on it and work hard on it, it will always yield something positive because you've given it energy, and energy never dies. It just changes form from one state to another. So I'm rambling, but my whole thing is no energy is wasted. So whatever you choose to do with life, it is very, very important. So if you stay grounded and stay focused, and in doing that, it will merit to something. It will lead to something. And there is invisible forces. You can call them guardian angels. You can call it the universe that are working day and night to make sure that your dream, as beautiful as it is, it comes into the world to bring forth the great change that it can. You never know, whatever you're creating may be the light that saves someone's life or saves an entire nation. It's possible.
Yes.
I never underestimate a dream of anybody, young or old.
Wow, I've had a lot to learn from this last remark that you've given us. But guys, thank you for being here today with us. I've had an amazing time personally. I've had a lot to learn. I have a lot to know about Katula. I've known him for different. I think the first time, I don't know.
I think the first time we met, you
Our
were kind
concert.
enough to actually join Shatra's book launch. She was launching Soundless
Oh,
Man for the very
yes.
first time. And I could not believe our luck that we managed to get you on such short notice to be on the
Yes.
panel.
Yes.
Talking
yes.
about mental health to a community that would
Yes.
have otherwise remained ignorant about that. So
That's
we were
true.
very honored, and that
Wow.
was
Thank you so much. It means the world to me to be a part of conversations that are talking about mental health, and equally so blessed and honored that on short notice I was considered. But we are closing the show today, and we have had an amazing time here with Reminak. And please tune in until we meet next Wednesday, same time. Goodbye. Say goodbye to
and
them.
goodbye.
Goodbye.